That was Iron Maiden. I'd like to introduce you all to Simone Springer, who joins us from Perth. G'day, Simone.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you for joining us today. First starters, how did you get into comedy, and what was your glowing to get where you are now? Famous Perth identity, international artist in comedy.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's to get into comedy, it was a bit weird. It wasn't part of my life plan. I just decided to do it as like a bucket list type thing, and I was just going to do it once. And I had a friend who was dating a comedian at the time, and he said, if you do it once, do it twice, because the first time will be horrible. So I agreed to do it twice, and I'm glad that I did, because otherwise I never would have made it past the first one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. Cannot remember even being on stage, but the second time was much better, and both time I got laughs. It's just
Oh, lovely.
I didn't stop and pause for the laughter because I was too nervous, and I was afraid that if I stopped for a second, I'd forget what I was going to say next.
So how do you get the crowd to so basically you get the crowd to pull in with your routine and get them stuck in with the early jokes and stuff to get them relaxed?
I mean, the rule is get a joke out as quickly as you can, so it relaxes the crowd and lets them know, okay, they might actually be funny. So the kind of rule is always close on your best joke,
okay,
and open with your second best joke. So that's kind of the rule. But I always loved comedy. I always went to comedy shows. I would prefer to spend money on seeing comedy rather than bands. And there was just a time I couldn't sleep at night, so I was listening to comedy to go to sleep every night, and I think I just brainwashed myself into thinking I could do it. Actually doing it was much harder, but once I did it a couple of times, I think the third gig was the Raw Comedy Competition, which I didn't realise was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I got through to the semi-final.
Yeah, congratulations.
And, thank you. And meanwhile, the second gig was supposed to be my last.
Yeah.
And a local comic, Cameron McLaren, who has also won Best Comedy at Fringe, super funny guy. He came up to me afterwards and said, when's your next gig?
Oh, nice.
And I was like, I'm never doing this again. and he said, no, keep going, you're really funny. So
absolutely.
The motivation to be like, okay, one more gig, then I did the Raw Comedy Competition, and the fourth time I actually got paid.
Hey, and so you should.
Yeah, I got paid very quickly, which was lucky.
Yeah. What inspiration do you get from? Who's your inspiring comedian actors or actresses that inspire you to do what you do?
Well, my favourite comedian at the moment is Carl Kinane. He's on Spotify. He's got, I think, 4 specials on there, and every single one of them just absolutely kill me.
Yeah.
I also love Catherine Ryan. I love Dave Chappelle, all-time favourite.
Okay.
If I could pick one comedian to spend a night with, as in just talking, by the way,
Yeah.
that sounds really sexual, it would be Dave Chappelle. And,
Dave Chappelle, yeah, he's really good, very, very comedic. Dave Chappelle.
And Eddie Izzard as well. There's so many amazing comics.
And did it hit you hard with the death of famous comedian Robin Williams a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it's always really sad. That's tragic the way that he went to, not knowing that he was the illness that he had.
Yeah.
And even Billy Connolly now is has Parkinson's and
That's right.
can't perform. That's a nightmare really, like, because I've been asked before what I want to do, like what I would want to do when I retire, and I was thinking I'm not going to retire.
No, way too young for
I couldn't
that.
imagine. Yeah, like this is it till I die. So the thought of not being able to perform when you want to is really tragic, and I'm sure that's part of why Robin Williams isn't with us today.
Yeah, bless his socks.
Hey, Simone. Sorry, I've just got a question in regards to how you actually write your jokes. I know, like, the best thing about being a good comedian is making good jokes, but what's the process? How do you decide on what's a good joke and what's a bad joke?
the good joke is anything that makes you laugh. So anything that I think of and it makes me laugh, I'll always make a note. Then the real test comes when you stand up in front of people and whether they laugh or they don't laugh. And it's a matter of their kind of either deciding if the joke flies, if the first time you say it, you get a laugh, that's it, it's a winner. If it doesn't get a laugh but you really love it, that's when you kind of rework it. It's all about like word economy, finding the quickest, punchiest way to get to the joke. So if you really love something, you'll find a way to make it work. And or sometimes, you'll try it a couple of times and you'll be like, nah, it's not going to work for me. And the funny thing is, there's some things that are so funny and they'll work as a tweet or they'll work coming out of somebody else's mouth, but for whatever reason, it's not right for you. So when I first started comedy, one of my biggest things was there's certain topics that people want to hear me talk about.
Okay.
So anything to do with kids and relationships always works for me. When I kind of head on to other things, it's hit or miss. Like, but those topics, I think, maybe because they're like I can really own them as myself, they always work.
And he got your own group, the Motherhood group comedy. What's that all about?
So
I hear that's
I
really
think
good.
It was almost 4 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
Myself and 3 other mums, we decided to do a show which was called Surviving the Circus, which
Yep.
was called the Motherhood Comedy.
Okay.
And from our first show, we sold out. It was 120 people.
Oh, wow.
And we instantly knew, like, this is an idea that absolutely has legs. and ever since then we've done I think we're up to our 4th show now. We've done Surviving the Circus, Jumanji, Mum's Gone Wild, which won a Fringe World Weekly Award.
Hey, congratulations.
And now we're on to Parenthood.
Oh,
which we
Parenthood,
did for the
nice.
first time at the Rechabite last Friday.
Yeah, and how did that go with the audience and everyone involved?
Oh, amazing. The Rechabite is just a really cool theatre.
Yeah.
And we were stoked to be able to do it there. And now we're going to be doing Parenthood through Fringe. So if anyone wants to come to that, look it up.
Oh, nice.
Once the Fringe stuff comes out.
Yeah, that'll be good.
We'll be doing it again.
And I hear you have a fun night on the singles Sunday night, which get everyone's, you get everyone out of their comfort zone and have a few laughs and
Yes,
yeah.
that is Sunday Singles, and I'm a host with Daniel Kelby. We run it every single Sunday.
Oh, cool.
And it's basically a bit of comedy at the start, and then we do lots of dating games. So it's live dating. It's kind of like blind date.
Yeah.
We play one game in your mate a date where you're blindfolded, but your mate is the person that picks the date for you and asks the contestants the questions.
Oh, nice.
We do something called Freak of the Week to find out who the freakiest people in Perth, and we found out very quickly that there are a lot of freaks in Perth. So we just play a bunch of dating games. It's so fun for us, and we read out. People can put in a ballot box their best and worst pick-up lines, their best and worst dating stories, and we read them out. And honestly, some of them are absolute blinders. I'll give you an example of one.
Yeah.
Geoff, you dropped something. Your standards, how about it?
That's good.
They're all terrible. That's like the most PG one that I can.
Yeah, that's okay.
They're all really hilarious. The stuff that people come out with is great, and we have a lot of fun.
I hear you interviewed, had Robert Turner, my coach at Kelmscott Football Club, there. He has a big beard, and he made a fun about the beard.
Was he a contestant?
Yes. Yeah.
Gold. It's everybody in Perth knows someone who has been on the show, and if their friends got footage of them, they're now getting a lot of crap for it. It's great.
So when the Fringe Festival, when would that be happening?
So the Fringe Festival runs from mid-January to mid-February. Last year I did a split show, and I did a kids show as well. But this year I'm only doing 2. I'm going to do my first ever solo show, which means it's a full hour of just me doing stand-up.
Okay.
and that's going to be called Solo. And I'm also going to be doing the Motherhood Comedies Parenthood. So I'm just going to be doing the 2 shows plus Sunday Single plus all the spots. So I say only, but like last year I think I had like 53 shows in a month.
Oh,
So,
wow. Incredible
yeah.
effort.
Yes, I do get busy. If anyone wants to see me this week, I'll be at the lounge Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
What
pleasure.
what's the buzz you get from you performing and just seeing people's in the crowd happy and smiling and laughter, especially with all this virus and lockdown things that are happening, and you just bring that shining light to people that want to smile and go out and have fun and etc.
Initially, because when I was in my 20s, believe it or not, I had severe anxiety, and so
Okay.
just the fact that I got to a point in my life where I could just get on stage uh, and perform was the kind of high for me. Initially, I didn't like physically being on stage. The buzz I got was when I got off and I got that sense of relief and like accomplishment that like I did it. But meanwhile, I was building up skills and jokes material to the point where I was able to get paid for it. Like for the last 2 years, comedy's been my full-time job. So it was really only maybe a year in that I had a moment of standing on stage and realised, oh, I'm actually enjoying being on stage. Because before that it was terrifying. So it definitely is a case of like you just keep at it. But I had the drive where I picked up every single gig that I could. People are always like, what do you do to get better? What do you do to write better? You can't teach it. The
No.
real learning is on stage, like physically getting up night after night and learning what works, what doesn't work, getting used to your jokes so your delivery gets better.
Yeah.
There's so many important kind of parts to a joke. It's the way that you say it. There's so much more than just words.
And your body language, does that come in as well? Like, yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
body language too. If there's any sign that you're kind of not comfortable on stage, unless that's your character and you're
Okay.
the awkward person,
Yeah.
if you're not 100% confident on stage, people know that, and
Yeah, absolutely.
and they feel the tension in the room and are less likely to laugh.
Yeah.
So that is important. In saying that, there was definitely a turning point for me. I think it was my second Fringe, maybe it was my second year in,
Okay.
where I'd just done a performance. It was myself. I was still fairly new, and there were 3 other comedians. And a woman came up to me after the show and said, "That's the first time I've laughed since my husband died, and that was
Aw.
2 years ago. Like you were the first person that could make me laugh." And I've got goosebumps just saying it
Bless.
now. It's still really like it definitely hit me somewhere.
That's a lovely
somewhere special,
compliment.
right in the heartbeat.
Yeah.
And so I do carry that with me, and especially doing the motherhood comedy where we have people who have quite difficult lives, and I
Yeah.
know, kids are hard work.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
having parents come out and mums get together.
Oh, that's
and be like,
lovely.
this is the first time we've gotten out of the house, since my kids were born.
Yeah.
It's been 6 years, and they're all laughing and saying like, oh my gosh, like, oh, we think we're a failure, but
No,
like,
no,
hearing
absolutely
us
not.
say stuff. Yeah, on stage
Yeah.
we all fail. So those are definitely the points that make me feel the best. And Sunday Singles, I had a woman come up to me and say like, I was feeling really depressed about not seeing someone, and she
Aw.
goes, hearing you say you don't want a date and you don't want a relationship has made me realise like maybe I should work to be okay on my own. And I was like, hell yeah, you should.
Yeah. Big love to all the mums out there.
Don't settle.
No.
Don't settle. You're not a failure.
No,
We
absolutely
all
not.
fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's inspiring. I think that's just seeing the mums get out there and reflecting on and being having that heart moment with you. I think is truly special. What makes you feel alive and feeling happy that you've contributed to someone laughter. I think is really something special to have.
yeah, laughter is not quite the best medicine. I'm
No.
sure antibiotics is better, but it definitely does help your mental health. And I know personally from the time where I went from not being able to sleep at night, and I'm so glad that I chose this instead of doing meditation. I'm sure that's good too.
Yeah.
But I
Meditation.
started to listen to comedy instead, and I was listening to comedy every night, and I was going to sleep laughing. And
Oh, bless.
I feel like that's it. Like literally, you can train your own brain to be more positive. I
Yeah,
absolutely
absolutely.
100% believe that.
And here you're doing any author, any books like you're appearing to write or coming out? Or?
Yes, well, I've written 2 books. They're fiction. One's called In the Rouge. That was
Okay.
the first book, and Going Rouge was my second book. They are available on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
It's
Okay.
a series.
Cool.
Funnily enough, I was halfway through the third book when I found comedy, and I'm still halfway through the third book.
Oh, nice.
So unfortunately, comedy takes up all of my time now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. At some point, I will have to finish that third book because it is the third and the ending of the series.
So you hope to write an autobiography, or
Who
is that in the
knows, maybe
pipeline?
one day.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's only when people ask me
Oh, okay.
questions about my life that I do realise I've had quite an interesting life.
Yeah.
In that I've gone from having a severe anxiety disorder to then be a private investigator,
Oh, wow.
to be a loss prevention officer arresting shoplifters. Then of course I own my own shops in the city, written the books, and now I do comedy. And it sounds like it's something somebody made up. And so it's always weird when people are like, what did you do before comedy? And it's like, oh well, I'm a private investigator, and I wrote some books, and I owned shops, and I designed clothing, and
Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
amazing. Full credit and respect to you, Simone. And that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for spending time with us this morning. I really appreciate you giving your busy schedule this morning to appear with us on IPL Radio. I really privileged to be able to chat with you this morning and learn so much more about you, and wish you all the success here
Thank you,
and
thank
many
you
years to come.
so much for having me. And if anybody takes anything away from this, I would really like them to remember that there was a time where I literally was too afraid to leave my house, and now I stand on stage for a living. So
I'm very proud of you, Simone. Well done.
I can tell you that people definitely can achieve if they want to.
Very proud of you, mate. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye.
See ya. That was Simone Springer on IPL Radio. I hope everyone enjoyed that interview this morning. I think she's credit to herself and the many aspiring comedians that she gets out there and does one hell of a job.
That was great. That was brilliant. It was interesting to know what actually goes into the comedy routine and all of her life experience that she's got. She a private investigator.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that she was a private investigator.
A PI.
RPI.
PI Simone, as they say.
And stopping shoplifters. And
That's an interesting
as
one.
well.
I wonder what goes into that. Do you just have to do like the physical and then you got to go and stop them? Or is it more of a whole procedure of training for 6 months, like an actual police officer?
And I think how she gets people out of the comfort zone, smiling, laughter, and she gets compliments. I think
That's a good one.
that's really touching.
That's what comedy's all about, really, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like getting everyone together, having a laugh. I know what how she's saying. Laughter probably isn't the best medicine, but it's definitely a good one. It's definitely a good one to have.
Okay, we'll just leave you with some music. Green Day, American Idiot.